Hey, we're starting our first episode of the undrafted hockey fan. My name's Brad. I've been making some TikTok content about the undrafted hockey fan. It's mostly primarily NHL. I'm a huge Red Wings fan, and I'm just wanted to start this out because there's a lot of things I want to talk about, but I just don't know. I didn't have really a platform in 3 minutes on TikToks were just not enough, and it wasn't as much fun. So I wanted to have some long form content, and I listen to podcasts all the time. So I think, hey, like if I can do a hockey podcast. I can just talk about hockey. I don't mind. Like I got a microphone. I can buy a microphone. See, I bought a microphone. Hey. So today I wanted to go over my Eastern Conference my Eastern Conference standings and where I think everyone's going to be. So this is my first episode. We're trying to figure it out as we go. So we're just gonna get started. So we're gonna start off with We're gonna be starting off with the Metropolitan, and so these are the standings from last year. You can see Philadelphia finishing in last in the Metropolitan with 61 points, and of course Carolina clinching a phenomenal spot at 116 points. I believe they were actually right down here would be the Florida Panthers. So I want to go through 8 through 1 in the Metropolitan. So we're going to do the Eastern Conference, all the Eastern Conference. So let's start. Okay, so we have phenomenal setup. These are all great teams. Kind of. some know what direction they're going, some don't. And so that's what we're going to kind of go over today. So in my picks, I do similar to last year. I do have the Philadelphia Flyers going number 8. Well, like I said, it's not that I don't love them. I actually have a very soft spot for the Philadelphia Flyers. Not to name drop, but actually there's a buddy of mine that actually is now made the starting roster for it. So I've known him since he was like 3 years old. It's Ronnie Adderd. He made the opening roster. He played a little bit last year. He unfortunately was one of the people that knocked Keith Yandel off of his stream, but it wasn't him. It was the coaching staff decided it. Keith Yandel was all right with it, but Ronnie, tough, aggressive player. I think he's the captain of the Tri-Cities, I believe. He's a great player. I actually would love to get a jersey of him, and I'd love to get him on here eventually. So that's kind of the goal. So we'll see. I mean, that's not the goal, right? I got to have bigger goals, but I would love to get Ronnie on it at some point. So Philadelphia finishing 8th. Again, they don't really have a direction at this point. They're actually handing out a bunch of 8-year contracts. They have Sanheim has got an 8-year contract, and they got another one around here too. Which I mean, I said it's good for them, good for Sanheim, but again, it's a defensive defenseman. So I mean, you have people that they traded for like Ristolainen, as well as D'Angelo. I don't know why they got D'Angelo. Great player. I think him and Tortorella are going to butt heads so hard. But the one thing that I can say that I'm really excited about the Philadelphia Flyers is that they have Tortorella. And Tortorella is already so great. He actually just talked about, they're like, hey, what's essentially what he said, what's one redeeming quality for this team? What have you found? It's a good character trait from them. He's like, nothing. Have you found anything? No. I love it. Like I said, I'm excited for him. I think they're gonna have a similar mentality to Miracle when he talks about Miracle. When he said, "Hey man, we're not gonna be the most skilled, but we're definitely gonna be the best conditioned." I think that's what Tortorella. I think he just bag skated him. There's actually a picture they found of him. It's the bag skate, he was dying on the ice. I think it's great. So Philadelphia going number 8. I totally agree with that. Or I picked that, of course. So of course I agree with it. So I'm going to stick. This is a similar list to actually what I'm thinking. So with 7, I am actually going to go New Jersey. The reason I'm picking New Jersey is because they didn't get much better. They made a couple trades. I think they traded away Zaka. But really, like, they picked up a goalie. They picked Vanacek from the Washington Capitals. And Vanacek was fine. He was okay, but they're starting to lack on their core defense depth, and they have a phenomenal. I mean, they have Hamilton, who had he didn't have a great of a year last year, and so we want to see Hamilton step up. I just don't know if it's going to happen, and I also we want to see goalie. I mean, they went through like 7 goalies last year, so we'll see. Hopefully, the Vanacek works out well, but I think that they're going to, David Juracek is going to be a great addition. I actually called that. It was a draft, 2022 draft this past year. I was blown away when Shane Wright got picked. We'll talk about Pacific later, but I actually was talking to someone, and there's like, oh, dude, Shane Wright's going second overall. I'm like, dude, like, there's no way Devils are picking Shane Wright. They don't need him. Like, they just don't need him. I said, no, he's definitely going Shane Wright. I'm like, no, dude, they're going to pick David Jiricek. They are really low in defense. And sure enough, they picked David Jiricek, which is great for them. And then he's like, no, okay, so Arizona's going to pick third for sure. Arizona's picking third. They're going to pick Shane Wright. And I'm like, and this guy's drinking. I had a couple pops too. But because we're at the Little Caesars draft party. Yeah, Little Caesars for the Red Wings. So Little Caesars Arena had a draft party. And for the third pick, I was like, no, dude, like, they don't want Shane Wright. Shane Wright's more NHL ready, which is why the Kraken took him. Third overall, Arizona did not want. They don't want an NHL person ready. They don't want to be good now. They want to take all your shitty draft picks. My bad. Take all your crappy drafts, or all your crappy players, all your crappy contracts, and they want to give me your draft picks. I think they have like 12 second rounders coming up in the next couple of years. It's stupid. So they're just looking to stall. I think they're going to try and be good in 3 years when their new arena is going to be coming built up. So they're not picking Shane Wright. Why would they? They're going to pick Logan Cooley with the higher upside. And of course, what they do, they picked Logan Cooley because he had the higher upside, and he wasn't gonna be ready now, and he just had a higher ceiling. So let him go develop for a year, 2, 3 years, whatever, and then bring him up when the team starts to be good. So, of course, Shane goes to Kraken. Anyways, that's my rant on the draft. But New Jersey picked David Jiricek. As if you listen to the Steve Dangle podcast, noted Alan Walsh client. Clearly, I wasn't prepared for this. So I think that New Jersey is going to do better. I don't think they're going to do great. I think they're going to steal some points now. I think you're just going to get a better year out of Jack Hughes. You're going to get him healthy. You're going to get Nico Hischier. Hopefully he stays healthy. Two very underrated. Well, I think Jack's now properly rated centers. Nico Hischier is definitely an underrated center, force captain as well. So now we have Columbus, New York. We have all these guys. So I do believe that the Islanders are going to be 6th. I don't know if I think last year was a fluke. I don't disagree with that. But the problem is that even if it was a fluke, they didn't try and get better. They missed out on Kadri. Speaking of Columbus, they missed out on Gaudreau. So you're looking at 2 major pieces. I mean, they locked up Barzal, and I think it was 8 years, 9.15. Again, Red Wings fan, so I'm looking at that for the Larkin contract. We'll talk about that. And so I think that they missed out, unfortunately. They honestly have probably the best goalie tandem with Sorokin and Varlamov, but I just don't think they didn't try to get better. I mean, they're again great defensive team, and I think they can shut you down. But again, they need some scoring. So I think they're going to be out looking for. I think they should go after Pierre-Luc Dubois. I think he'd be a great addition to the team. Again, and the team's getting older. They just need scoring. I mean, I'm preaching to the choir. Everyone knows this. Everyone knows that the Islanders need scoring. It's just they play that shutdown defense, which is great. Again, it's worked. It's what won the Stanley Cup for the New Jersey Devils when they had Berger. The shutdown defense. But again, you need goals still. It's like I always think of this like Mario Kart. Like Mario Kart is you have coins and you have stars, right? So coins would be shots, and then stars is goals. So you can have 120 coins in Mario Kart, but if you have 0 stars, you lose. Like you just lose. And so you could have, again, if you had 10 shots, if you have 3 goals, that's great. That's way better. So again, I just see it as my Mario Kart. Like you need stars. Get your stars, and your stars are your goals, and you need your goals. So I have the Islanders going 6th, and so let's go on. Well, again, now we have let's talk about a couple of other teams before we pick number 5. So you have Columbus. They did pick up Gaudreau. Great pickup. So they had to get rid of Bjorkstrand. They got rid of him for a 3rd and a 4th. Seattle did a great job. Just saying. They did a great job picking him up. And then Washington, an older team. Pittsburgh, an older team, right? But they're trying to go long-term with those contracts, right? They just picked up another contract for Malkin, an extension for Letang. Rangers, one of the youngest and best teams, honestly. They're going to be perennial Stanley Cup contenders for the next decade, easy. And Carolina, I mean, good Pacioretty pickup in the Burns. I'm a big Sharks fan too, so they picked up Burns, and I love Burns. I think he's great. I think he's just a great personality, and I'm so happy for him having an opportunity to go and just thrive somewhere else. So I am kind of dissing on. So I talked up Columbus. I'm gonna go 5. So number 5. So we have right now we have Philadelphia. We have let's go. Oh, we can't go here. So we have. I can't go in that. So we have Philadelphia is number 8. We have New Jersey is number 7. Number 6, we're doing the Islanders. And number 5, I actually think, I'm gonna go with Columbus. I actually, my favorite goalie in the league right now is Elvis Merzlikins. I think he's super underrated. I think he's a great goalie. I think that he needs more love. I think they need I think they have who else is it? Who's their backup goalie? Who is the backup goalie? Merzlikins is great. I can't think of the goalie. Let me 1 second. Okay, I had to pause for a second. So it is actually, we see here, it actually is Merzlikins and it's Korpisalo, who just got signed to a 1-year contract. So we'll see if he does anything with that. It's still, I think it was like under $1 million or something like that. And then of course I actually think we saw Tarasov a little last year, but I think Korpisalo will only get maybe another 1-year extension, or maybe he gets shipped off somewhere else. But I think Tarasov is the future with Merzlikins, and I think that'll be a great tandem, a great way to learn from each other. So we'll see. So hopefully those work out well together. So, but Columbus, great pickup on Johnny Gaudreau at a steal of a price. It was like $8 million for like 7 years. Great price. Philadelphia, where the fuck were you there? Philadelphia should have been done anything. I mean, if they didn't pick up Tony DeAngelo for the $5 million, I think they could have made it work. I think they could have figured it out, sign him, and figure it out later. Okay, you can be 10% over the cap over in the offseason. 10% of the cap is another $8 million. Okay, figure it out later. I mean, you lost Gaudreau's contract. You lost, or you would if you didn't pick up DeAngelo. Boom, money right there. So I'm kind of upset because I think he really wanted to go to Philadelphia. I'm mad because I think players don't always get what they want. And it's, let me phrase it. He got what he wanted. He signed the contract. He signed in Columbus. He clearly wanted to go there. I think he wanted Philadelphia more. He cheered for Philadelphia. And so I think at the end of 7 years or at the end of the contract, he's going to end up picking, if Columbus isn't good and they need to sell Gaudreau off, I think he's going to Philadelphia. So we'll see. But, man, bummer for Gaudreau, man. So, anyways, so 5, I am picking the Columbus. So I could go easy. I know I'm going easy. I'm going easy with the other 4 making the playoffs. So, but it's just how I feel. And I actually think that we're going to see a little bit similar. I actually think Washington is going to be in 4th as well, because I think they picked up a better goalie. No, actually, I lied. I think Pittsburgh's going to take a step back. I think Jari is good. I think Jari's a really good goalie. I don't think he's that good. I think they sent off Matheson, and I think they picked up Ty Smith, and they picked up Petrie as well. I think I'm going Pittsburgh 4th. I think that it's similar to the Connor McDavid effect, where in Draisaitl effect, where you have the Oilers who are so good, and what they're going to do is they're going to play well. They're going to outscore you every day. They're going to score a ton, and I think that's how it is with Sid and Malkin and all of them. They're going to score a ton, and I think in their defense, they're just not as defensively sound to me. And Jari, again, great. DeSmith did a great job against the Red Wings. I mean, they got goalie. They should have beat the Pittsburgh Penguins, but they played phenomenal. DeSmith did a phenomenal job. So I think Pittsburgh's going to pull up on the 4th in their wild card spot. Then I think Washington will take a step, and the only reason I say that is because they picked up Kemper. Now Kemper wasn't an amazing goalie. He wasn't a bad goalie, but he wasn't an amazing goalie. His goals against average wasn't amazing. Again, and his save percentage wasn't amazing either. But I think that he has that Stanley Cup winning mentality now, right? He just came off of a cup. So I think that he's going to bring that. Listen, guys, I came from the promised land. I've seen the Giants. I've, all the biblical stuff. I think that they're going to use him to propel him. Hey guys, I've been here. I know OVO won. I know Oshie won. 2018 you guys won. Why can't you claw your way back there? Again, another older team. Unfortunately, they're missing Backstrom. So hopefully Kuznetsov can actually help bring that center depth up. But we'll see. Again, they're a little bit older, unfortunately. But I know the hockey guy talks about it. Carlson. Carlson's a great defenseman. Underrated. Of course, you're going to get overshadowed by Adam Fox. You're the shell of Erik Karlsson. I love Erik Karlsson, but shell of him right now. So again, I think Washington is a little bit older, and you can see last year they were only 3 points behind the Penguins, right? Pretty big gap between the Islanders and the Washington. So. But I think I think it's fine. So, it is what it is. So, I'm going to go. So, we have, again, going through Philadelphia, New Jersey, Islanders, Columbus. Yep. That's what I said. Pittsburgh. And we're going to go Washington. Okay. And because we're going to get Washington in third, which we know. So, we have first and second. I mean, I do think the Rangers are good. I think the Rangers are really good. I think Carolina, I think it's just their year. I think New York Rangers are going to do really well. They have Shesterkin, one of the best goalie last year, voted. He won the Vezina. I think they're going to do really well. But I think the Rangers No, I think there isn't really no fault for the Rangers. I can't find a fault for the Rangers. I think I'm going to go Carolina's going second. Carolina is definitely going second because Aho needs to step up. And he's already like a point per game player as it is. But I think he needs to step up. I think he needs to take another step. I think Jordan Stahl is great third line center, great captain. And I think they have a ton of pieces. They have Pacioretty will come back, which will be sick for them. I think Pacioretty is going to be a great addition for them. But he's not coming back for several months. So we'll see. So I think Carolina has a lot of good pieces. I think I'm a little questioned on their goaltending. I think their goaltending did really well last year. If they can stay healthy, that's the only way they're going to get there. Is if they can stay healthy, then I think they have a chance of doing it. But we'll see. So I have Carolina going second, and then of course the Rangers. Okay, so I think they should keep the kid line together because I think you're going to help create that chemistry long term. Again, I think there's going to be a perennial. Let's step back. I think we're going to have I think they're going to be really good for about a decade. I really do think so. I think they're going to be really good for a decade, and I think that Lafreniere. Again, I'm a Red Wings fan, so I think Lucas Raymond has just saying. Lucas Raymond has more points than Lafreniere. I'm not saying he's better. I'm just saying he's better so far. Just saying. Although again, let's be honest. Raymond is getting top line minutes with Bertuzzi when he was in America, not in Canada. Now he'll be able to do that. But I think that he will be able to. I think Lafreniere, they're doing a slow development with him, but as a number one overall, I thought he would be on the second line easily. Of course, that team's pretty stacked. Rangers got really lucky being able to getting the 16th pick, or being 16th, landing 16th, and then as well as they were able to get the number 1 draft pick. I think that was the Red Wings year. They think they should have had number 1 overall pick, but I think I have a Raymond jersey, so I'm clearly a fan of the kid. I think he's gonna be great. I'm obsessed with Moritz Seider. I send my wife Moritz Seider stuff all the time on Twitter. Any funny GIF or anything, his videos are crazy silly. So Carolina's gonna do great, but the Rangers, I think perennial. I think the defense is amazing. Adam Fox winning the Vezina at such a young age. He's like another Cale Makar. Those guys are just going to pass it back and forth year to year, essentially. So probably not. Cale Makar will probably take it. Let's be honest. Unless Seider does it. I think Seider's got a couple. I think he's our second coming to Lidstrom. Let's be honest. I think he's our second coming to Lidstrom. And I think that eventually, if Larkin's traded, Seider will be captain in the next couple of years. But I don't think Larkin's traded. I think he has a lot of control. I'll talk about the Red Wings in a second. Finish up Rangers. The Rangers are going to be the President's Trophy winners. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Rangers are President's Trophy winners. They're gonna be second. I think Toronto will be second to them. So, anyways, that's the Metropolitan. So we have let's run through them. We'll go 1 through 8. We're gonna have the Rangers, Carolina, Washington, Pittsburgh, Columbus, Islanders, New Jersey Devils, and we're gonna have Philadelphia. Bring up the rear Philadelphia. So let's move on down to the Atlantic. Again, Red Wings are in here. My favorite. Let's go Atlantic. Okay, cool. There we are. Great. All right, so let's go into the Atlantic. A great set. Yeah, I'm going to move off the screen because I think it's a distraction to people. You only see that little face right there. So I think if we're looking back, let's look at this. So let's actually we're gonna write these down for sure. Just make sure that these are written down and make sure these are ready to go. So we have number 8. Do I need to write this down? Do I really need to write this one down? I will. I'll write it down. I'll write it. I got paper right here. I'll write it. I got number 8. You can see it, number 8. So I think the music started playing. Oh, because I'm on the different screen. That's why I didn't add it to the screen. Okay. So, Montreal. Okay, Montreal is number 8. They're trying to be bad. Rephrase. They're not trying to be good. Yeah, let's go with that. It's not that they're trying to be bad. They're just not trying to be good. I think St. Louis is going to help bring a lot to the team. I think it's going to help them propel. I think Cole Caulfield shouldn't have gone 15th, let's be honest. But it's because he's small. He has smallest man syndrome, right? So you're going to have those smaller guys who just aren't going to get picked up because they're thought less of. St. Louis, look at him. St. Louis was an undrafted player. Undrafted. Then you think he played for Calgary, then the Lightning, and I think he might have played somewhere else too. But definitely played for Calgary because they took a chance on him. And then he played for the Lightning, and then of course played for the Rangers as well. So I'm happy they got him. I think that it's great because I think he's a French coach as well, or French as well. So St. Louis, huh? So I think we have Montreal, and I think the next 3 are really jumbled around. Actually, let's go with number 4. I think you could throw Boston in this mix actually as well. So you have Ottawa, who got better, much better. They got DeBrincat, they got Giroux. We all know, let's be honest, it's a dirty little secret. They're trying to go after Chychrun. They're trying to go after Chychrun. We're going to pause. Also, I want to plug my YouTube. Undrafted Hockey Fan. By the way, you are listening to the Undrafted Hockey Fan podcast, or you're watching it. Thank you for watching it. Like I said, I wish the background was a little better. So I think after this first episode, we're gonna try and spice this up a little bit. So it's also my TikTok. My wife actually, we were at with the grocery store recently, and my wife and I made a TikTok together. And I was like, honey, she doesn't know much about hockey. We actually started dating 10 years ago. Our first date, she said it wasn't a date. But if you asked her today, it was our first date. She didn't know it was a date. We just went together to a hockey game. We went to a Grand Rapids Griffins hockey game, okay? And we went there. We had a great time, and we saw the Griffins. So, what was I saying with that? I lost it. Anyways. She had a take today. I said, hey, honey, what do you think the Larkin contract's gonna look like? I was like, hey, honey, they're gonna sign for 8 years. We know that. I almost guarantee it. I said, what do you think they're going to sign him for? How much do you think he's going to make for 8 years per year? I was like, per year, honey. What do you think? She goes, she looks so confident. She goes, $2 million. I said, no, you're not going to make $2 million, unfortunately. So, you get Larkin at $2 million. I feel bad for Larkin. I'll be honest. He already got a new agent. He needs another new agent. So, no way. Especially with the entry level contracts being like at $925 or something like that. No, they're not. So I think they're going to get him around like 9.3. I really think so. I think that's pretty close. So we have, I think for 4 through 7, it's really a toss up. Ottawa got better, like I said, with Giroux, DeBrincat. They're trying to go for Chikrin, which I think they'll get. I think they will. I think that we all know they're looking for a defenseman. So Detroit got significantly better, goaltending better, defense better. They got forward better as well. So you have the rookies, Raymond and Seider got phenomenal last year. Raymond dipped a little bit at the end, but still a great year. And then you have Seider, Calder winner, clearly great. And then you have they picked up Ville Husso. Third round pick for Ville Husso is a steal. By the way, also coincidental, we now know what Eisman values goalies at third round draft picks, because when he got Nedeljkovic, he did it for a third round, and the rights to Bernier to Carolina, who Bernier didn't even sign in Carolina. He signed in New Jersey, by the way. One of the 7 goalies that didn't make it, unfortunately. Didn't last very long. Anyways, so Detroit got better. In the defense, they got Sherratt, and they got Olimata. So Olimata, great defensive. I want to keep him long term, and Sherratt, we're going to keep him long term. I think he's probably overvalued. I think a little bit overvalued, but that is whatever you have to do with free agents. You always have to assume it's an extra $1 million. I think he's making like 4.5 for the next 4 or 5 years. So, I mean, really, he's probably worth 3.5. But I mean, Florida traded a first for him, like an actual first round pick. Florida did a lot of stupid things. I don't know if I should have Florida in this mix too. I think we should probably vote Florida in this mix as well. Okay, 1 and 2 are locked. I'm going Toronto and Tampa in 1 and 2. I'm not telling you which one I'm doing 1 and 2 yet, but we'll do that. So, so we have the 3 through 7 is a total mix-up. I think we have Florida in the mix because they got worse. Like, they actually got worse. They lost Uyghur. They lost Huberdeau. Knight's great. Bobrovsky is sketch, to say the least. He's just a little sketch, that's all. Boston, tons of injuries. Like a ton. Like McAvoy, Marchand, they're not starting the year off of them. We're playing? There we go. Okay. So I think that Boston is definitely going to have a struggle. I think that Swayman is great. I think Olmark is okay. I think they're going to get by with the goalies. I think especially with the aggressive style that they play, I think that they just need a lot of help. I mean, they already put Mike Riley on the waivers. They put Nick Foligno on the waivers as well. So I think they're just struggling. I think I forget who I was listening to. They were saying that this should be a tank year. Boston should just tank and do the quickest retool, and what they would just do, they just tank, like push them out, like miss the playoffs, go down, and I mean they're not going to tank as hard as Montreal, but tank it. You get a great pick, get Michkov, get Bedard. I mean, just have the options, right? And then if you had those options, then now all you guys are healed. They're all back. I mean, they're all taking great contracts. Besides, I did hear that Pasternak wants 10 to 11 AAV, which is not the Boston way. Marchand, a 100-point guy on a consistent basis, taking a $6.5 million contract, and then Pasternak wants to come back and get. I don't know if Pasternak's worth it. I haven't looked into Boston well enough to know if Pasternak was honestly worth it, but I think that he could be. We'll see. But I think if you had Boston, I think they could take a dip too. And again, we already talked about Florida, Buffalo. Oh, we gotta talk about Buffalo too. Buffalo, I have a soft spot for Buffalo. I actually really like Eichel. I think I like I guess underdog. Let's call him. I mean, in the Eichel and the McDavid draft, I think it was 15 or 16. I think I might have been 16. I think it was 15 because I think it was McDavid and then it was Matthews. somewhere around there. Anyways, I think it was like the Mick Eichel draft, they call it, and I think that I have a soft spot for him because I think he's actually underrated. I think he's gonna have, now that he's healed, he's in Vegas, he's gonna do much better. And I think that Buffalo, Kevin Adams, who just got an extension, by the way, got a multi-year extension because he's making good moves. He just signed 8 years. Who did he just sign? Let's go. Let me see. All right, going on. So they just signed Samuelsson, Matthias Samuelsson, a defenseman, 7 years, $30 million. So you're looking at around like 3 and like in 0.8, somewhere there. No, 2.8, between 2 and 3 million. No, higher than that. That's a 7 divided by 3. That is a 4. Oh, that's like a 4.25-ish. So 4.25, I think that's quite a bit for a defensive. But the thing is it's 7 years for a reason. It's 7 years because they're playing the long run. By the way, guess who else got a 7-year contract? Not Logan Thompson. The other Thompson. What's the other Thompson's name? Oh, I can't think of it, of course. This is why I need a producer. I need a producer to be able to do these things because this will make it so much easier to get this. So it was Tage Thompson. I'm looking it up over here. It's Tage Thompson. Okay, he got a 7-year contract. 7 years, 7-some million. I mean, very expensive for a guy who he had 41 goals last year. So, heck, if he can keep that up, if he's another DeBrincat, they are doing phenomenal. Again, they're playing for the long run. They have the cap space. They have the cap space to do Thompson and the other one as well, Samuelsson. So they have the space and they have the time. I mean, they're doing the slower rebuild. I think that, in my opinion, Detroit did it a little quicker. I wish Detroit waited another year. I want them to tank one more year. I think they needed one more good draft. And honestly, they did improve. They didn't improve that much. And okay, so here let's go. This actually leads me really well. This is a good transition into my thing. I think so. We have Montreal at number 8. I'm gonna write these down. Montreal number 8. Okay, and number 7. I'm writing it, and I honestly, I believe it. I think Detroit's gonna be number 7. And the reason I think Detroit's gonna be number 7, they improved. They actually improved over Buffalo. I just don't trust them. And actually, I really do want them to be 7th. I think they're going to be better. I think they're going to steal points. I mean, you can even see it last year. Let's go to the viewing screen. Let's go to the viewing screen. All right, pulling it up. You can see, look at Ottawa, Detroit, and Buffalo. I wrote Detroit. That's 7th. Okay, anyways. 75, 74, 73. They're all so close. That gap. Holy smokes. That's a 32-point gap. That's 16 wins. Okay, so I think I might have been wrong. No, let's go with it. Okay. Again, we're sticking with it. Detroit's number 7. I wrote this down. Detroit is 7th. I think that Nedeljkovic is going to struggle again. I don't think that he's as good as we thought he was. I think he's going to struggle because there's another. It's not only so last year he came to a new team, new systems. Then he came. And by the way, he was leaned on a lot. Grice did not hold up his end, and that's on Blashill because he overplayed Nedeljkovic. I think Nedeljkovic is a good goalie. I think he's going to struggle again because it's another new system. It's better system supposedly because the lone system who came from Tampa, who he was part of 2 Stanley Cups, 3 Stanley Cup Finals. So clearly he has an idea of what he's doing. And Bob Bugner, who worked for the San Jose Sharks, is now the assistant coach. So, and that's who Lalonde stole the defensive scheme from, is the Sharks team. So I think Detroit is going to get better. I think they're going to have more points. I think they're going to be closer to like 80-something. So the thing is, I think they're going to be close to like 82. I think we got a couple more wins. So that would be 4 more wins, 8 points, 4 more wins. I think Detroit's going to be 7th. Then I think it's going to be Buffalo. I think Buffalo. Yeah, we're right in Buffalo. 6, be Buffalo. And I think it's going to be close. I think that Buffalo is going to have surprising amount of good games. I really like Tuck. I actually like Okposo. Good for him for getting the captaincy. If if Thompson gets another season like that, I think that is trouble. That is Bertuzzi on steroids, right? Because Bertuzzi's is just had his first 30 goal season. If Thompson keeps it up and he does another 40 point, I mean that's good for them. And also you have Owen Power coming in. So hopefully number one overall draft 2 years ago, last year, 2021. So great defenseman. So hopefully he's gonna turn out well. And I think I actually am really excited. I think Eric Comrie did really, and so Buffalo has Eric Comrie in goal. I think Eric Comrie's going to do really well. I liked him. Unfortunately, I know he had a stint in Detroit, did not work out, but he had a good year last year with Winnipeg. Didn't play a ton of games. Winnipeg really rode Hellebuck, so I think Comrie can play well. I think that he's going to help pick up a lot of points. I think Anderson's going to be the starter. Craig Anderson, what a G, by the way. Hanging out, holding the fort down, taking that net by storm. And so I think Buffalo is going to they're going to squeeze by Detroit just barely. I think there's just a lot of systems that need to be figured out, a lot of things that need to be ironed out. So I got Montreal, Detroit, then Buffalo. And then, so who we got? We got Ottawa, Boston, and Florida. So I don't know. I think that, okay. So I actually think this is a little bit crazy. I think we're gonna do Boston. Yeah, Boston's going to fifth. I think Boston's great. I think they've been going to playoffs for a long time. So I think Boston's going to do great. I think they have the good tandem. I think that Marchand's going to come back. He's trying to come back November 1st, which is in a couple of weeks, but I don't know if he's going to have the same gumped, kind of like Eichel. I think he's going to have similar thing to Eichel, where Eichel's a great player, but he has to kind of get back on his feet. He missed training camp. He's been off. He's probably been practicing, but not to the same extent, not the NHL level extent, right? There's a difference between going to practice and going to games, and being in the game is way different than being just at practice. It's a higher level of compete. It's a higher level of energy. The intensity is greater, and it's also leads that he could get re-injured as well, right? So I think McAvoy, when he comes back, would be great. But I Boston missing the playoffs. I think Boston's missing the playoffs. And then I think, so for 3 and 4. So if I pick Ottawa, then Florida's third. So I'm feeling ballsy. I think I'm going to have Florida go fourth. And the reason I do is I think that Ottawa's going to suck for the first month. And the reason that doesn't mean why I think they're going to be third. No, I think that Ottawa's going to be third. And Florida's going to be fourth. I think they're going to miss Huberdeau. Huge point getter. They have Barkov, mind you. Their goalies are pretty good. I think the one thing that they're going to do, and the biggest game changer for me, is that they're going to miss So Florida's going to miss Uyghur. They're going to miss Huberdeau. And I just have this feeling that there's... Because the thing is also, like, why would they go all out? Like, what are they going to trade? They don't have a first... Like, I think that 2023, 2024, 2025... I think they have a first in 2025, maybe. But, like... What are they going to trade at the end? Like, they're going to trade roster players away? What prospects are they going to trade? They're not going to... What, Lindell? No, I don't think so. I think Florida, kind of like I was saying with Boston, I think they maybe need to do like a real quick retool. I think Tkachuk's great. I think Tkachuk's going to bring a lot of grit, but I think it's going to get you hurt. I think people are going to target Tkachuk because they think or they know he's got something to prove. And he's great, but I really think... And I think he'll make up a lot of points for the Huberdeau, but I think losing the defense. I mean, Ekblad is injury prone, mind you. So for Florida, Ekblad, if he goes down, that's a huge issue. And he went down last year. I mean, they won the President's Trophy, but like, I just don't know. I think that even if they make the playoffs, which I have them making the playoffs, I think that he's so prone to injury. I think he's just not going to be 100%. So. I don't have faith. I think this thing is I don't have faith, and I think I'm just so excited about Ottawa. And the thing is I'm looking at this right here. Like, if you can look, like you can see, they're at 73 points last year, 7th in the division. Essentially they could have been 5th. they're a win away from being fifth. So, but they're seventh, essentially fifth. All they need to do, like, take 10 points off of all these and put them down here, and it's a totally different division, mind you. For what if DeBrincat? I think DeBrincat is going to just launch Ottawa into a great spot. I think you're going to get DeBrincat. You have Giroux. You have Norris. You have Shabbat. And then I truly believe before December. Yeah, before December 1st. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's November, half October, so a month and a half. Okay, before Christmas. I think before Christmas, I think this is going to be Chychrun's last Christmas in Arizona. Maybe not even. I think he might move his family up to Ottawa. Really experience the real Christmas, right? Go from literally opposite ends, right? So you go from Arizona way in the southwest, and then you go all the way to Ottawa in the northeast. So I think Chychrun goes to Ottawa. That's my opinion. He's going to Ottawa. So I think that he's going there, and they're gonna skyrocket. At the start of the year, I think the first month and a half, they're gonna suck until they get Chychrun, and then they're gonna launch. That's my prediction, and that's why it's a bold prediction. That's why I believe that Ottawa is gonna jump up that quickly. So I'm writing it down. OTAWA. I'm not a speller. I'm a numbers guy, and even that I'm not so confident in. All right, so 1 and 2. Okay. I do listen to the Steve Dangle podcast a lot. I listen to the Chris Johnson show, so I have a big heart for that group. And I'll be honest, I'm like a pseudo Leafs fan because I'm in Detroit. I live in Detroit. I'm a Red Wings fan. Like primaries, it goes Detroit, San Jose, Stars. Stars are kind of like they're just there. It's because I really like Pavelski, and I really like Pavelski. I like Jason Robertson too. Of course, everyone does now, but I really like Pavelski, and so I'm taking it. Okay, I want to wrap this up soon. So I'm taking Tampa. So number 2 is Tampa. I'm writing it down, Tampa Bay, and then we have Toronto. So I think Toronto, Tampa Bay. I think great. I think they're Stanley Cup contenders. They're playoff people. They've been the last 3. I think they're tired. I think they signed up a bunch of good young their core 8 years, but I think that they're gonna drop down a little bit. And I really want to see Toronto make it out. By the way, so I want them to win. I think that they're gonna be up there with. So I had. So I had Rangers taking the President's Trophy. I think Toronto's going to be right behind them. So I think you're going to have Toronto, who the one thing I don't know is, as everyone says it's goaltending. It's going to goaltending. So if we go to goaltending here, it's just I'm not confident in it. I'm not confident in Toronto's goaltending. Tampa Bay is a phenomenal goaltender. I think Tampa Bay's tired. I think Toronto's going to outscore their problems. And I really like what they did in their depth. I really like Yardcroak. I think that was a really good pickup. Okay, Giordano was a great pickup. They have Sandin. They have Liljegren, and he's injured, but I'm really excited. I think Toronto's taking the division. I think they need to. And I think it'll be good because I think, in my opinion, they're going to verse Florida, and then Tampa Bay's going to verse Ottawa. I think that's going to be wild. I think Tampa's still going to take it, and I think Toronto can get the ass out of Bobrovsky and Knight. So that's my top. So let's go through again. We'll go to the viewing screen. So we're going to go back up to let's do a round out of. Let's see, going here. So I have Philadelphia going right. I have Philadelphia, and I have New Jersey. I have the Islanders. Okay. All right. Then I have Columbus. Yeah, I had Columbus. Then I had Pittsburgh dropping. Washington going third. So let's write these down again. So we got 8 is going to be Philly. 7 will be New Jersey. 6 is New York Islanders. 6. 5. 5 is Columbus. 4 is going to be Pittsburgh. I'm not betting on Crosby making it out, missing the playoffs. He hasn't doubted us yet. Washington, because they're goalie, because Kemper. 2, I do have Carolina. And then I have 1 is the New York Rangers, and I believe that they will take the President's Trophy. So, anyways, thanks for listening, and I appreciate it. Follow me at you go to YouTube, Undrafted Hockey Fan, TikTok, Undrafted Hockey Fan. So, I appreciate it. Thanks for all your time. Again, my first episode, and I'm excited to continue making stuff, and hopefully you're along for the ride. Appreciate it. Love you.